Good evening. I hope you and your loved ones are well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about mental health, an issue that is finally being brought out of the shadows. It's being talked about. People are learning about it, trying to understand it, hopefully accepting it, and hopefully it is becoming gradually unstigmatized. Being a part of the ASMR community means that we're quite exposed to people who have mental health issues, mental health illnesses, disorders, conditions. Maybe it's a blip. They have encountered it, suffered from it, overcome it at some point in their lifetime. Perhaps it's intermittent, or maybe every day is a struggle. They say that mental health is like the invisible broken leg. It can't be seen, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It is felt. A few years ago, I really didn't understand mental health at all, and I made it my kind of mission, if you like, to learn about it, speak to people with mental health illnesses and what every day meant for them. And it was really interesting. I learned a lot. I listened, I asked questions, I've researched. I am by no means an expert, but I have tried to learn. I was in a room where people were discussing their mental health, and I was secretary of disabilities committee at university, so I got really involved in Mental Health Awareness Week, and we invited Mind, which is an organisation in the UK, which I will speak about, in, and there were other people who came and spoke about their mental health, and it was incredible and fascinating, heartbreaking as well, but also incredible because despite that they have overcome it. They live every day with perhaps an OCD, an obsessive compulsive disorder, depression, anxiety, and the list goes on. So in today's video I thought I would speak about what mental health is, list the various illnesses that have come up, advise where you can get help, sort of signpost if you like. I've only done UK, but I have done a few for the United States as well. And then I'll list some celebrities who have encountered mental health issues, and end with some positive affirmations at the end to boost you, lift you up, remind you how fantastic you are. We all have a dips in our mood. I think everyone has encountered an issue with their mental health at some point in their lives, but obviously that doesn't mean you have a mental health illness. But hopefully we can all generate empathy and compassion together, bind together to accept each other's differences and to uphold those who do suffer every day. It's about listening, it's about advising, it's about accepting. And on the flip side, people with mental health, it's up to you as well. You have to find that glimmer of light, you have to find that help. It's tough, it's so difficult, but you can definitely do it. Anyway, enough of my rambling on. I've got my book here. I've written my notes in it. So let's start with definition. Now, in this definition, it's called a mental disorder. I'm actually really funny with certain words, and disorder is one of those words. I find it quite jarring. A disorder implies, you are not working. There's a malfunction. But mental health shouldn't be a disorder. It should really be classified as an illness, surely. Anyway, this is the definition. Now, I got this from Wikipedia, so don't sell your soul on it. A mental disorder, also called a mental illness or psychiatric disorder, is a diagnosis by a mental health professional of a behavioural or mental pattern that may cause suffering or a poor ability to function in life. Such features may be persistent, relapsing and remitting, or occur as a single episode. So that was that definition. I then looked at another definition, and this one was supplied by the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And this is from the United States. A mental illness is a condition that affects a person's thinking, feeling, or mood. Such conditions may affect someone's ability to relate to others and function each day. Each person will have different experiences, even people with the same diagnosis. I found that really important. 1 in 5 adults experience a mental health condition every year. 1 in 17 live with a serious mental illness, such as schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Half of mental health conditions begin by age 14, and 75% of mental health conditions develop by 24. I found those statistics quite alarming, actually. Alarming because the weight of those statistics don't equal the amount of publicity brought to this issue. I found that very, very interesting. So essentially, it's what we were saying before. You can experience it. It may affect you every day. It may affect you at different times, and then people may have the same mental health illness, but they might react completely differently. We're all individual. It's like anything in life. People react differently. Okay, so I looked at an organisation in the UK, and I looked at Mind. I'm aware of Mind. Like I said, I've met some people from there before. And Mind lists the type of mental health problems, and it's a big list, and I liked that because it didn't kind of leave anything by the wayside. Within these kind of types, there are other ones within that. So, for example, anxiety could also encompass other illnesses, such as trichotillomania, for example. Yeah, phobia is obviously encompassing agoraphobia, arachnophobia, etc. So, Mind listed these as the types of mental health problems: anger, anxiety and panic attacks, bipolar disorder, body dysmorphic disorder, also known as BDD, borderline personality disorder, depression, dissociative disorder, drugs, so street drugs, alcohol, cannabis, cocaine, eating problems, hearing voices, hypomania and mania, loneliness, obsessive compulsive disorder, otherwise shortened OCD, panic attacks, paranoia, personality disorders, phobia, postnatal depression, PTSD, psychotic experiences, schizoaffective disorder, schizophrenia, seasonal affective disorder, otherwise known as SAD or SAD, self-esteem, self-harm, sleep problems, stress, suicidal feelings, tardive dyskinesia. Now, I didn't know what that was, and for those who are in the dark like me about that one, that is involuntary, sudden, jerky or slow twisting movements of the face and or body caused as an unwanted side effect of medication. So it's quite an extensive list by mind. I was quite surprised by how much they split things up actually, but I liked that. It gave worth to each one. Now, if you are experiencing mental health issues in yourself, or in someone else, of course, please advise them as well. They suggest that, number one, you reach out, tell somebody, let them know you're struggling. Number two, book an appointment with your doctor or mental health authority. They will look at your symptoms, how long you have had your symptoms, and the impact it is having on your life. Now, I was researching about this, step number two, when people get a diagnosis, and the general advice was to try and turn it into a positive experience, not to think of it as a label, but to think of it as an opportunity to get the help that is needed to overcome it. View it as an opportunity to learn how to live your life alongside it. Try not to let it make you feel like you have been put in a box. It is a chance to explore treatments and hopefully start feeling better. There is no one-size-fits-all treatment. Options can include medication, counselling, CBT therapy, which means cognitive behavioural therapy, social support, education. Other treatments I've seen, especially from the ASMR community, who I think tend to lean towards more holistic approaches. They advise eating cleaner, meditation, exercising, and acknowledging your feelings, being honest, writing them down, having that one or few people that you can discuss it with when you're feeling that the world is coming on top of you, reaching out. A lot of people in the ASMR community use Facebook as a reaching out mechanism. When you reach out, be honest, and if people advise you, take that advice, do something with it. If you're feeling like that and you're reaching out, acknowledge that's what you're feeling. You have to take it to the next step. You have to you know, really put your foot in front of the other and get that help, because otherwise it will swallow you up. You can't let that swallow you up. You're worth more than that. So those are where you can get help, but there are also charities and helplines, which I'm going to now tell you. So let's turn the page over. So I looked at Mind, and Mind have some helplines, but they are more of a signposting helpline. For example, their Mind Infoline, you call, and you call about the types of mental health problem, where you can get help, medication and alternative treatments, and advocacy. So they say and they believe that no one should have to face mental illness alone. So I think they sort of direct you to the appropriate people and give you some options, which I think is nice. I'm personally quite a pragmatic person, and I think when you're in that situation, that can be really helpful, just having someone give you the information off the bat, and you know, you just have to write it down and then off you go. You know, you don't have to spend ages researching and having all of that in your mind. You know, that's very difficult. When I spoke to people with mental illness, it's very difficult to function, let alone be doing that. So the Mind Info line, the lines are open from 9 AM to 6 PM Monday to Friday, and the number is 0300 123 3393, and it's a UK, and it's for advice and direction. Obviously it's not a lifeline, as it were, because it's not a 24-hour helpline. They do offer 2 more helplines, which is a legal line, and they also offer a blue light info line, so for people in the emergency service, staff, volunteers and their families. So I looked at some other organisations. SANE came up, which is a charity. It's a national out of hours mental health helpline, so it runs 6 PM to 11 PM, so maybe a bit better, and their number is 0300 304 7000. Calm, campaign against living miserably. This was a really interesting one. This is about preventing male suicide. Now, I could not believe these statistics. I think it's absolutely abhorrent that more isn't being done to again raise this profile. In 2014, 76% of all suicides were men. So over 3/4 of the population of suicides were by men. It is the biggest cause of death in men under 45 in the UK. They actually have 2 helplines, and they run 5 PM till midnight. So 0800 585 858. They also have a helpline just for London, 0808 802 5858. I will put all of these numbers and contacts in the description below. Okay. I can't go over that statistics of male suicides. I think it's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking that people can get to that point. You know, and that is the only solution for them, that, you know, that would make it better. You know, how awful. My heart really goes out to people who get to that point, people who have got to that point. You know, please know that you are absolutely amazing, and you know, we want you to stay in this world, and I know it's tough, but you know, you're so valuable, you've got so much to give. So other UK helplines, so 24-hour helpline, the Samaritans, 116 123, support line 020 8554 904, NHS Direct, of course. I thought it was 111, but a number did come up of 0845 4647. Other ones, we've got No Panic, 0808 808 0545, and many more. I'm going to list them. So other than the ones I've said above, we've also got Depression Alliance, Domestic Violence, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Parent Line, Bipolar UK, which actually offers 2 numbers. And I also found a fantastic website called Helplines Partnership, and it's absolutely fantastic. It categorises and it gives you lots of organisations, charities and numbers, so I'm going to also include that link. Let's have a look. I did find some numbers for the United States, and I just flipped over my page, and I have actually got some for Canada as well. I'm just going to list these, but the ones I've included from the United States: Adolescent Suicide Hotline, AIDS National Hotline, Sexual Assault Hotline, Suicide Prevention. This one is Suicide Prevention, the Trevor Helpline, so it specialises in gay and lesbian youth suicide prevention. In Canada, Distress Centre, Kids Help Phone, Mental Health Helpline, Drug and Alcohol Helpline, Ontario Problem Gambling Helpline. That was something quite different, I thought. So I do also have a couple for Australia. Beyond Blue Support Service and Lifeline, which is a 24-hour phone counselling service. That sounded very good as well. You know, I actually, you know, I'm very fortunate. I don't live with mental health. I don't live with a mental health condition. I have seen other people live with it. I see people fight it every day. I think they're amazing. I hope those numbers are useful. You know, I hope that's okay. If you live elsewhere and you want to comment a particular number that you think I haven't included, or a different region, then do so. I'll add it to my description. I want this to be as supportive as possible. I truly believe that you can have a fantastic life with mental health, and that you can overcome it, you can beat it. If you know that you are suffering with a mental health condition and you're still here, then well done, you're beating it. It's, you know, it's hard. I'm very fortunate. I don't live with mental health illness. I have experienced a mental health, I wouldn't call it a condition, I experienced a trauma, and I had to overcome that, and it took a while, but I don't live with it every day anymore. I don't really think about it anymore at all. It doesn't affect me. But then I see other people who live with, you know, chronic depression every day, and yet they manage to put, you know, one foot in front of the other, so to speak. Getting out of bed is a challenge, but they do it. You have to keep moving. So, on that note, you know, people who keep going, good days, bad days. If you have a bad day, just think, you know, let's replace that bad day with a better day. You know, you're a winner. If you wake up and you get out of bed and that's a struggle, you've already won. Okay? So famous people with mental illnesses that I found, just a very small selection. I don't know how true these are. I did check them out a few times, so I hope they're valid. Charles Darwin, severe panic disorder. Emma Thompson has experienced clinical depression, as has Harrison Ford. Obviously, we all know Robin Williams fought clinical depression, I don't know, probably for his life. And, you know, eventually he couldn't, I guess he couldn't take it anymore, and that was it. That's really sad. It makes me so angry that this still happens. You know, oh, it makes me so angry. Not at the people, it makes me angry at the, like, the powers that be. They let their public get to that point. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And literally my heart goes out to, you know, to people like Robin Williams who have fought for so long, to the families, to everyone affected. It's just awful. I can't even imagine it, really. Stephen Fry, bipolar depression. He's a big advocate of mental health. I think he's part of Mind as well, where he speaks in their videos. Catherine Zeta-Jones is bipolar, and Tim Burton has manic depression. So they're all very famous, very kind of celebrity status success. People often say, you know, don't look like they have a mental illness. That's hilarious. You know, in the most satirical sense. I mean, that's like saying if you find someone's committed a heinous criminal act, oh, they don't look like a criminal. How backwards. It's really important to be mindful when we meet people. Maybe someone is down, you know, just let them know you're there for them. You know, I don't know what you're going through, but I hope you're okay. If you're not, you know where I am. I spoke to a friend of mine recently who has lived with depression her whole life. And I sat down with her and I said, but I don't understand. I said, you've never suffered a trauma. I mean, she has, but not before her health issues. And I was confused, and she had to remind me it's an illness. It's not like a choice, it is an illness. And it was so fantastic to listen to her, and she said about how this is really great, you know, really good to sit down and for me just to listen, because actually when people are in that state, they quite often just want someone to listen to them, to acknowledge their existence, acknowledge their pain. So for people who, perhaps like me, who have always struggled understanding mental illness, understanding where the conditions have come from, I really hope this video has helped you. I really hope you found it accessible. Yeah, so I will be donating to Mind, and I'll be donating to Sane charities, because honestly I can't get over those statistics. I just can't, you know, and it's so important for them to be funded to continue their good work. So that's what I will be doing. So yeah, I just wanted to say that if you experience mental health daily, I'd like to apologise for all the people who don't understand you, who put you down, who make you feel like you're not actually ill with anything. You know, how ignorant, how rude of them. It's okay to admit that, you know what, not feeling great, but you are not alone and you are fantastic. The fact that you get up and you put a foot in front of the other, you make yourself breakfast and you get yourself going, you know, you're winning the battle every day already. If you are experience mental health illnesses, you know someone who is, please reach out, get the help you need, see the professionals, research, beat it. Yeah, if you had I don't know, if you had a fall and you had to have physio, you'd be doing the exercises just like that. Yeah, you need to be doing that too. And I can't imagine how hard it is. It's very easy for me to sit here and go, you know, go on, find that help, and that could be literally be like the hardest thing in the world. But baby steps towards it, you know, tell a friend, first step done, ring one of the helplines, second step done, book a doctor's appointment and actually go. And, you know, maybe write about what you want to say, how you're feeling, so that when you're in there you don't have to think or panic. It's literally words in front of you that you can just read. So, thank you for listening. Now I'm going to tell you some positive affirmations that I found, that I love. I really hope it inspires you, makes you feel great about yourself, reminds you of how fantastic you are. Please stay with us. Please don't let it consume you. Okay? Keep swimming, don't sink. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Every day begins with an act of courage and hope. Getting out of bed. Mason Cooley. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. The Buddha. The best way out is always through. Robert Frost. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. Khalil Gibran. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Aristotle. Onassis. I can't adjust the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my souls to always reach my destination. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. Jimmy Dean. I am not a victim. No matter what I have been through, I'm still here. I have a history of victory. Don't try to understand everything, because sometimes it is not meant to be understood, but to be accepted. I hope today we can all accept each other's differences, accept that people go through battles every day. I hope we can listen, uphold each other, be there for each other, value each other, and just support each other every single day.